What is going on, guys? This is All Gaming with my review of No Game, No Life Episode 2. And this episode, I just gotta say, it was surprisingly funny. I definitely got a lot of laughs out of this episode. And that right there is one thing I definitely was not expecting. I thought it'd be a lot more serious, but I'm actually glad that they actually threw it in the episode that like focused on a lot of comedy, because that right there, definitely showed that this series can be funny, if they want to be. But we see that the episode itself, it starts off with Stephanie. She's now, in Sora and Shiro's room, and we see now that she has this blanket around her body. It's because she lost everything. Now, even though Kurumi, she was cheating, which we all know, but because Stephanie could not point out that she was cheating, or she could not, see how she was cheating, she still ended up losing. And so that right there, made her drop out the tournament so she can no longer become the king. And she even lost the clothes, that she was wearing. And we see now that the dress, we actually learned that, it means a lot to her, but I will get into that later on. But now we see that she cheated in their room, and she's upset now because she feels like that it's Sora's fault, because he was the one that told her that Kurumi, was cheating. So she feels like he's at fault here. But we see now that both Sora and Shiro, they aren't taking anything from her, and they're actually trying to egg her on now. And we see that Stephanie's here. She actually falls for it. So I was surprised, that Sora, he like playing these mind games, but they were like definitely working. And eventually, when Stephanie here couldn't take it anymore and got so upset, she was actually going to slap Sora. But right before she could, he had clapped his hands together, and I really thought that she had slapped him. But now we see that he trying to use these roles or pledges to his advantage, and he actually gets her to agree to this game. And they're gonna play rock paper scissors, which is definitely the easiest game anybody can play. But we see now, because of these rules and because of the own like stipulation that he put on himself, you would think that Sora here could really lose, because we see Stephanie now. She was definitely working all this up for her mind. She's definitely smart, but she was just not good enough, because Sora here was saying that he'll beat her if he just uses paper. And so, Stephanie, thought of all these ways that she can win, because there were also ways that, it can end a tie. But basically, what Stephanie wanted was for Sora, to comply with any demand that she had. And Sora here kind of got her with like those mind games again, because Stephanie thought that he'll only want her to get him a place to live, but he never said anything. He just stuck his tongue out at her. But we see now that when the game actually got started, and Sora won, that right there was like definitely awesome. Like I never thought that we could get such a tense moment, an intense moment from like a simple game of rock paper scissors. But of course now Sora won. And we see now that, Stephanie here thought that she had to give them a place to live. But that right there was not the case at all, because we see now what Sora here actually wants is for Stephanie to fall in love with him, because apparently he wants all of the money and all her belongings. But we have Shiro, who's actually a lot smarter than she looks, because she was saying that if Sora just said that if she belongs to him now, then he could have got all that. And so now we see that now he kind of panicking, and we see now that he like headbutting the wall and is actually breaking apart. So even the stuff in this world, it's like extremely frail, or these guys have like some superhuman strength, because we see throughout the episode, they're like breaking stuff or causing to crack so easily. But we see now that Stephanie, she was definitely not happy, because we see now that Shiro was like kind of bothered by this bet, because at one point Sora had told Shiro that she was the only one that he needs. And now we have now we have a Sora, apologizing to her, but he's also taking back those words, because he is a guy and he has those needs. And not only that, Shiro is like really young. she's only 11. I think that he said. So clearly he definitely needs somebody a lot older, which is where Stephanie comes into play. And it was just hilarious, how after she was acting so depressed, we see now that Shiro's here, but like actually encouraging them. And so at one point you see Shiro. She actually kicks Sora, and we see him now. Like we see him falling into Stephanie, and when he does that, his hands are actually on her chest, and we see now that while he's like fondling her chest, we have Shiro here, who's now taking pictures. It was just hilarious, how this whole situation had worked out. But eventually we have Stephanie. She takes them to her castle because even though she is not in a tournament, she is still royalty. So I guess she has like some privileges. And I also forgot to mention that when Stephanie had enough, and she had eventually had kicked Sora over her. We see now that whenever Sora and Shiro are too far apart, they have like these massive anxiety attacks because they fall into this like chronic depression. And I was just so shocked to see that because I never thought they would act that way if they were like too far apart. So that right there was like definitely interesting because we see them work so well together. But let's just say somebody kidnaps Shiro and they take her far away from Sora, he'll basically be useless. So that right there will probably play like some major role in the story later on. I was just so glad that they pointed that out, so early on, and they made it such a crucial part because you could see from how scared and depressed they was that it's like it's almost crazy to believe that. But now when they were in the castle, we have Shiro here. She's like taking a bath with Stephanie. But of course now, from the way they were acting before, Sora here had to be close to them. And for some reason, Shiro, she does not like taking baths. And I'm guessing, well, I do know that she was saying that if Sora was watching or something, it'll be child porn. So that right there is like one reason why she does not like taking them. But at the same time, it's like still kind of weird. But we see now that Sora here, he's being kind of devious and he's up to no good. And we see now that he actually, like sets his phone so that if Stephanie picks it up, he'll take a picture of her because he actually wants to see her naked body. So he acts like he let his phone slip and it goes towards Shiro and Stephanie. But when she picked the phone up, I do believe that it like took a picture, but it also has Shiro hands in it as well. So Sora here really couldn't see all that he wanted. But I gotta say, I'm actually liking the clothes of this world because Shiro here looks so cute in that dress, and then we have Sora who actually looks pretty awesome in that butler outfit he was wearing. So that right there, was like pretty awesome. But then we have this like stepper vision where she sees Shiro in like this like lovey-dovey manner, and of course she kind of like falling for him because I'm guessing like either the world is making her act this way because we like do see her act so sweet at one point, and then she's like bashing her head in on like crushing a wall. But I do believe that she really is falling for him. And so at one point she like runs out the room, and we see now that she's like making this tea, and she also letting him have the cookies that she made as well. And so now we see that her maids here, they actually look pretty freaking dirty. So that right there was like definitely kind of weird. But we see now that once again Stephanie is trying to like downplay this like cute side of hers or this loving side of hers. But we actually see that when she goes to take them the tea and the cookies, they are not in the room anymore, and they're actually like out on the balcony. So when she goes out there, she sees that she was like reading this book, and we have Sora who's standing close by her. And so now we see while that's going on, we actually get a better look at this world, because this kingdom, they barely have any humans there, and so we actually learn more about the other races, and we also learn more about the standings of the world as well. And so we learn that there are 16 races, and the human population, they call these the other races together the Exceed. And so we learned that the first race is called the Old Deus, and they were the gods who were defeated by the one true God. The second race is called the Phantasma. The third race is the Elementals, and then we skip down to the seventh, who were the Elves, and they are good at magic, and they make the Elven Garde, and they are also the largest nation on the planet. And so then we go down to the 14th race, which is the War Beast, and the 15th is the Werebeast. And no, the 14th is the Werebeast, and the 15th is the Sirens. And sadly, the humans, now they actually do go by another name, but basically I just call them humans because that is what they are, and they are the lowest of the low. Because basically, these rankings go by, how good they are by magic, and because humans cannot use magic at all, they are at the bottom of the food chain. So that right there, definitely kind of sad. But we actually learn that that these humans, they have this different language entirely. And so we see that when Shiro was trying to read this book, and it was in this other language, she did not give up, even though at first she could not understand it. But when they actually go to the study, we see now that she quickly learns the language, because this girl is a freaking genius. So you have somebody that is this freaking smart, and then you have Shiro who is very smart as well, but he has he has street smarts, where Shiro here has book smarts. Yeah, that's the way you wanna put the two characters in categories, because that is what they are. But to be honest, I'm not expecting Shiro here to be this smart. So that what did was definitely an awesome note. But we actually learned that Stephanie's grandfather, he believed that the humans here could beat the other races. And you know what? He's probably right about that. And I'm pretty sure that Sora here is gonna prove that her grandfather was right. But we see now that even though at first he was downing her, we see now that as the tournament was going on, we see Kurumi now, and she's winning, of course. And so we see that at one point she's walking this hall, and we see that we had people around her, and one's carrying this crown. So I'm guessing that the tournament is over now, and she probably won. So she's gonna be made into the next king or queen, to say, because she is a female after all. But we have Sora here, who was saying that this country is destined to fail, because regardless of who becomes the next king, the country or kingdom it's destined to fail. But maybe Sora here knows a way that he could possibly change that, because we see now that Stephanie, who's not wearing any fancy clothes, she's wearing some kind of baggy dress, I guess you can say. I'm not really sure how you would describe that. But we see now that she confronts Kurumi, and we see Kurumi notices what she's wearing, and she was taking pity out on her by offering to give her dress back. But then we have Sora, who would not allow that, because he was saying that all bets must be upheld. But we see now that there is definitely this tension between Kurumi and Sora. And I was definitely kind of hoping that that they'll play a game right then and there. But you can definitely tell that a game is definitely going to go down between these two, and I definitely believe that it's going to happen in the next episode, because clearly right now Sora, he wants to become king, and so to become king, he has to take Kurumi down. So I am definitely looking forward to that. So besides this whole comedy thing that was very prominent in the beginning of the episode, we definitely learned more about this world, and we also got some pretty good story progression. So I definitely get the episode an 8 out of 10, because to me it was definitely a good episode. I loved it. I laughed a lot, and I learned so freaking much. But as always, please let me know what you guys thought about the episode as well. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe because that really helps me out. But as always, you guys take it easy, and I will see you all next time.